How's it going, everybody? I'm Dono and this is How to Happy. In this video we're going to be talking about the opportunity cost of relationships. So come up with a list of the most difficult people in your life. They probably suck out your energy and make you feel tired. They probably fight with you all the time. You know that these people are probably people that you need to get rid of. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about these kinds of people. I'm going to talk about something a little bit more nuanced. Those are clearly toxic relationships, but what I'm going to talk about today is semi-toxic relationships, and let me unpack that a little bit. What I mean by semi-toxic relationships is that these are people who you have some good experiences with and some bad experiences with, and it kind of fluctuates. Maybe you're not really sure where these people fit into your life. So for example, maybe you have a friend that's really fun to party with, but they're also overbearing and really obnoxious at times. So again, you have like some really good memories of hanging out with them, but then you also have a lot of memories of these really rough nights. These are people that just leave you on kind of an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes when it's good, and when it's bad. Now, for the most part, you give them the benefit of the doubt, but the problem is that these kind of blow-up events happen a little bit more frequently than you'd really like. The problem is, as soon as you get frustrated enough with them that you feel like, okay, maybe I need to distance myself from this person, they come through on something really good, and then they're awesome for a while. Some of you might even consider yourself really good at handling these people, right? You know that there's good in them, so you really emphasize that, and then when they're having their meltdowns or breakdowns, you really like helping them work through it, or if they're, aggressive or whatever, you're really good at managing it, so you don't feel like it bothers you that much. The problem here is, even if you're really good at managing those issues when they flare up, there's still an opportunity cost associated with spending your time with those people. Every minute that you spend with those people that bring you down, even if it's sometimes, is time you could have been spending with someone else who would have brought you up all the time. So let me give you an example. If you want to be an athlete and you hang out with somebody who, again, you have a good friendship and it's good some of the times, but they have no values around health whatsoever, they're going to constantly be bringing up stuff that's going to go against your value of trying to become an athlete. So even if you're really good at managing, hey, let's go get fast food, let's go get fast food, let's go get fast food. Even if you're really good at managing that, that's time that you're going to have to kind of argue with that friend that if you were spending time with someone else who was also aspiring to be an athlete, you might have picked up some training tips, or they might have introduced a new food to you that's nutritious or whatever. The main point is that this is how opportunity cost comes into play. So if you have someone that's kind of on these ups and downs, you might be spending your time while they're on those downs with them when you could be spending it with someone who's going to lift you up. This is where the semi-toxic part comes in, right? There is good in the relationship, but then there's also a lot of bad, and it's kind of hard to unpack where they are. But the thing is, you're still paying for those down points. I understand sometimes it's hard to get away from these people. Maybe it's relatives or other stuff, the same kind of problems you run into with actual toxic relationships. But these people are a little bit different in the sense that they don't even have to be a completely negative force on your life. They just might have different goals and values that drag you in a different way if you spend a lot of time with them. I'm not saying you have to get rid of them, but maybe you need to consider how these people fit into your life. Now, please don't get confused. I'm not saying to eliminate every single person from your life who's ever had a bad interaction with you. That's not at all what I'm saying. This isn't an ultimatum. It's more a call to reflection. The reason that I bring it up is, for example, I lived with someone for several years who was actually slowing me down and holding me back. Not because they were actually trying to be negative, but because they had very different goals and values. And I just figured since I was good at managing it, we'd be able to get through it. But now when I look back, I realized that they actually pulled me off in a direction very different than I wanted to go. Now, I don't have any ill will towards this person, and I haven't had to cut them out of my life, but the way that our relationship was structured wasn't good for me. I would have been much more fulfilled and gotten a lot more done on my goals had I been living with someone who shared similar interests. Now, I'm not saying that you should cut out everyone who has different interests than you. Absolutely not. Of course, you need diversity, you need different opinions, you need the ability to learn and grow. The main point I'm trying to get across is when you have these relationships, it's worth thinking about if they're fitting into your life in the right way. Are you spending, the right amount of time with this person? Are you spending time with them in the right scenarios? Is it bringing the value that you want out of the relationship? How we spend our time and who we spend it with is vitally important to the outcomes of our lives. So we need to pay attention to how we're spending our time. There's billions of people in the world, so you don't have to settle for someone who's pulling you in a different direction. You can find other people who are interested in the same things. So don't let your need to maintain the relationship keep you at the same level of the relationship. You may need to revisit some of these relationships and figure out how to better fit them into your life and to put the time that's good for the relationship into it. Again, you don't have to cut everyone off if they say something that you don't agree with or something like that. That's way too extreme for what I'm trying to say. Just reflect on where your relationships are going and what you want out of them so that when you have these semi-toxic relationships, you can manage them a lot better and not have them pull you back and affect your happiness. Now let's move on to the exercise section. Number 1, think about a few of your key relationships that are more difficult than others. 2, ask yourself why they're difficult. Do you need to work on communication, or would it be better going in another direction? 3, what new relationships could you create to add even more value to your life? So for example, you want to talk about philosophy more, then you look for friends in places that are going to have that same interest. Hopefully that gives you a few ideas to start thinking over and examining your relationships to see how they fit into your life. That's all I've got for this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, feel free to put them down in the box below, and I will see you next time. You can check out more content at howtohappy.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. We've also got a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook that you can check out. Reflect, take action, and enjoy life. See you next time.